So, hi guys, I'm Sanyam. I'm a fourth year undergrad, and I've got a full-time plus 6 months internship offer from Walmart. It's also a Fortune 1 company because it has the highest amount of revenue. And the second question was a very hard question. It was a segmentary question. I was not able to do that completely. I solved it using a brute force approach. I was asked questions like thrashing, paging from OS, and questions like OSI model from networking.
So, hi everyone, welcome to the placement experience journey of your seniors. So, this is all brought to you by Upscale Talks. So, we have gotten today Sanyam. Sanyam is currently placed at Walmart. So, Walmart is essentially the Fortune #1 company at the moment. So, hi Sanyam, it would be very nice that if you can just shed some light on on your experiences and how has been your journey throughout the college life. What have you liked and what haven't you liked, and then we can move ahead with the session.
Yeah, thank you, Ajit. Thanks for having me. So, hi guys, I'm Sanyam Garg. I'm a fourth year undergrad at Delhi Technological University. I'm pursuing computer science engineering, and I've got a full-time plus 6 months internship offer from Walmart, and I've previously interned with BNY Mellon, and so let's start with the discussion. Yeah, Ajit.
Okay, so perfect. I hope we can, discover more about you throughout the session. So essentially, we can move ahead with the presentation, and I would like you to answer some questions about Walmart. So what actually Walmart services are, and what specifically if a person is applying to the Walmart, since you mentioned that you have been interning as well with them, so you might have by now, have a better knowledge of the subject, what actually is the work of a software developer at the Walmart, and all the KT sessions. So we think we can have some experiences from you as well. So you can just tell us about that, what actually Walmart does, and then we can move to the placement process.
Yeah, sure. So, as you all know, Walmart is a retail company, American retail company. It has a number of retail stores in America, US, UK, and a number of countries also. And so, it's a very large retail company which sells the products at a very cheaper rate because they buy products at very cheaper rate in the wholesale prices. So, it's also a Fortune 1 company because it has the highest amount of revenue in the last year because of that. And where is the technology role in Walmart? Some people also talk about it. So, because it's a very large corporation, it has a lot of data. The data needs to be analyzed, and it has a large supply chain technology. So, we have to make the softwares which make it possible for Walmart to deliver all the products from their warehouses to their departmental stores in the least amount of time, and we have to deliver the products to customers' home efficiently. So all that is requires software technology, software development. So that's the process in Walmart, and I'm interning right now with Walmart. I'm in the supply chain technology team. So we can move ahead.
Yeah, perfect, Sam. So, now can you just tell us about the whole Walmart process? Let's say that when the company got listed, till the time you got the final selection, and so what were all the processes involved? If there were coding questions, so can you just tell us more on that? What were the specific coding questions or the rounds of interview that you had gone through? Can you share your experiences out of that? What was the question that was asked to you, if you remember any of those questions? So I think that would be more helpful for our viewers watching this video, so that they can prepare well for the Walmart and other software development profiles that come to the college, or they encounter any such profiles.
Yeah, absolutely. So Walmart came to our college in August. So they first conducted an online assessment test, like all the companies do. So in the online test, we had two coding questions and 10 MCQs. So the coding questions, first question was a medium level question, I would say. It was a question where unsorted array is given, and we have to find three integers like a, b, and c, where a is less than b is less than c, and we have to find those three integers such that a plus b into c is maximum. So it was medium level question. I was able to do that question. And the second question was a very hard question. It was a segmentary question. I was not able to do that completely. I solved it using a brute force approach. But I was able to do all the 10 MCQs completely. And those MCQs were based on program on any language and OS, DBMS, or the all the core CS subjects. Then the next round was the technical round. So it started with my introduction, and one thing I noted about Walmart, they only asked DSLGO questions in the first online assessment test. But after that, in the technical rounds, there were only two standard DP questions which were asked. They focused more on the core CS subjects like networking, OOPS, OS, DBMS. So I was asked questions like thrashing, paging from OS, and questions like OSI model from networking about IPv4 address in networking. He asked me to explain in detail about the IPv4 addresses and IPv6 also, and in DBMS. And also about networking, I was asked about the differences in the TCP/IP and UDP. Then there were DBMS questions he gave me two tables and some SQL queries, and he asked me the output of those queries. And he also asked me to write some SQL queries that would generate a particular output. So that was about the DBMS, and they also asked me OOPS questions. So abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance. I was asked to explain all of them in detail. And then the third round was these questions were asked in the first and second round. There was also a puzzle which was asked in second round. So these core CS subjects were discussed in first two rounds, and then in the third round it was a HR cum technical round. In this round, I was asked about my internship experience, which I had done before in BNY Mellon. So, regarding my project, which I did, the interviewer asked me the challenges that I faced during my internship, and the question like difference between C++ and Java, because I had done coding in C++ and Java, and I had mentioned those two languages in my resume. That's why, and the interviewer also asked about a question which was more of a design question, where I was asked about to design a Google search where we are given suggestions. So when we write something in the Google search, we get some 10 suggestions. So he asked me to design that. I gave a solution using Try, and he was satisfied with my solution. And there were some personality questions also. And after each round, I was asked to ask anything to the interviewers. So I asked about the tech stack they use at Walmart, what is the work culture at Walmart. So I would suggest you to ask some questions. It shows that you are interested in the company. So I think that's all for the process. And after that, Walmart selected 10 students from our college. 6 were selected for 6 months internship only, and 4 students were selected for internship plus full-time offer.
Okay. So Sanyam, one more question over there. That you mentioned a lot of questions were asked to you during the interviews. So essentially, can you just tell us what was the time frame of each and every interview? So I think that must have been huge because you mentioned a lot of questions were asked to you.
So the first round was around an hour, and the next 2 rounds were around 40 to 45 minutes each.
Okay. So I think that was, I think that you might have been going through a lot of tension or the stress at that moment when you were appearing for the interviews. So I have a few questions that our viewer have asked us. So essentially, first is that, what are your views that how important role does a CGPA play in getting placed or, getting in the first few companies or the, very good, top cream layer companies. So what are your views on that? Can you just share us that?
Okay. So CGPA plays a very important role, I would say, because I have seen, for me also, Uh, I performed well in the online assessments of many companies that visited our college, but I was not shortlisted for the further rounds because of the CGPA. My CGPA was decent, like it was 8.7 CGPA, but the companies also have do not have much time to interview all the candidates. So if there are like 100 people that have solved all the questions, or that have performed incredibly well in the first online assessment round. So, and they have to shortlist, let's say, 20 or 30 people for the further rounds. So, they do that on the basis of CGPA. So, that's important. If you maintain a high CGPA, that would always benefit you. But even if you don't have that much high CGPA, no need to get disheartened. You would have many opportunities with 8 or 8 CGPA or above 8, but I would say try to maintain at least 7.5.
Okay, okay. So I think that answered the question very well. Also, you were somewhere talking about the projects in the interview. So in the essentially in the last project, the interviewer asked you a lot of about what exactly did you do and all of that stuff. So can you just let us our viewers know that what kind of projects should they pursue if they haven't started working on that aspect. Also, for internships, what is your advice? Which roles should they should pursue, or what builds their profiles at max? So basically this question is more about the profile building or the CV building. So how can they improve on this aspect? Can you just let us know about that as well?
Yeah, sure. So for the projects, I would say projects are very necessary. You can have 2 or 3 projects. There is no need to do like 7 to 8 projects and very simple projects. You have to do 2 to 3 projects, but that should be good projects, and you have to post that on GitHub, or you should have deployed that project somewhere so that it looks like this project is not a fraud project, and you have to be very well versed in that project, I would say, because the interviewer has taken many interviews, and he or she can tell very easily if you have copied that project or you have done it on your own. And the best way to do a project is to learn something like web development, Android, or machine learning, anything that you want, and get an internship that gives you the best experience of the projects. And because it's the real world projects that you do during the internships, and if you don't get an internship, try to do some web projects or a machine learning project on your own. You'd get multiple ideas from the internet. You can build a small travel app or website, or some machine learning. You can do some research papers, read some research papers, and try to build something for that kind. And that would show the interviewer that you are actually doing some projects that are necessary for the work that you would be doing in the company, because DSN Algo only works till the interviews. After that, you have to do some development work inside the company. You don't have to do DSLGO after you get into the company.
Okay, okay. So Sanyam, I think now it's the right time we should talk about you. How did you shape your journey to land into Walmart? I don't think that could have been easier one. So we would like to hear from you that how did you start your journey preparing and shaping the way that you land into some big fortune companies, and you landed in Fortune number one. So I think that's really important that we hear from you that how did you start.
Yeah, sure. So I first started by learning C++ language in my first year. I learned about the basics like the for loop or the variables, conditionals. Then I went on to learning about DS and Algo. I started solving some questions on different platforms like CodeChef, CodeForces, LeetCode, or HackerRank. After learning some basic programming in DSLGO, I learned about OOPS, and I learned about DBMS OS when they came in our course curriculum during second year. So in second year, I also did a few machine learning projects. Then I got the internship after the second year. Then then I tried exploring some web development. So in my third year, I did some. So also in my second year, I was doing competitive programming. So I used to regularly solve questions on code forces. I also gave some participated in some contests on code forces and code chef. So that helped me a lot in building the problem solving ability and improving my speed and accuracy in DS and Elco. Then I got an internship. During my third year, I was exploring the web development. So I learned about HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and some frameworks, React and Vue. I mean, like the libraries React and Vue, and the backend Node.js. So I built some projects on the web development. Then I also had because I was doing an internship at the end of my third year. One project I did during my internship. So I had these three projects in my resume, which helped me during the process of the interviews. That I think so it's necessary for you to keep good projects and DSLGO, because DSLGO helps you get to the interviews, because if you don't have good DSLGO skills, you can't you won't be shortlisted for the interviews after the online assessment round. So yeah.
I think, Sanyam, now we can talk about the juniors or the viewers who are watching this video and they haven't started the prep yet. Also, we can move ahead with the presentation, and you can let our viewers know how can they improve on these skills, and get into these dream profiles, what should they pursue and what they shouldn't. So yeah, just a quick word on that.
Yeah, sure. So I would say if you are in first year, you have a lot of time, and you can learn about any of the two languages, C++ or Java. Preferably, you should learn Java. I would say if I could go back and learn a new language, I would say I would learn Java, because most of the projects that are done, most of the backend work that are done in the industry is still done in Java. So it would help you in the later course of time. But if you want to learn C++, then also it's fine. You can learn any language, but I would say don't learn Python, because Python is like very simple language compared to C++, because it has a lot of built-in libraries or functions that you can use. So you won't get intricacies of the language. You won't get to learn how a particular thing is implemented. So just there is also a meme, if you have seen it, like in Interstellar they say 1 hour here is 7 years on Earth. So just like that, one line in Python is 700 lines in C. So that's the meme. So I would say learn C++ or Java just to start. Learn something, learn the basics, for loops, conditionals, and about the functions, variables, and then start solving some questions. You can start solving the questions which are rated 700 or 800 on code forces. And then you can start, and also you can start solving questions on HackerRank platform. And like when you're solving questions, you should keep in mind that you shouldn't solve, you shouldn't stick to one level of the questions. When you are comfortable at one level, let's say you solve 10 questions and you are able to solve 8 or 9 questions of that 10 questions, just move to the next level, because spending time on those questions which you are easily able to solve is not going to help you. That's not going to help in your growth. So solve medium level questions and hard questions also. And you can do competitive programming for the first year. You can regularly solve 2 to 3 questions a day on code forces. You can participate in contests. Those contests are really helpful, because they help you in building that speed and accuracy which is required in an interview. You learn to solve the problems in under the pressure conditions. So that is going to help you a lot. And if you are able to solve, I think, questions up to 1600 or 1700 rating on code forces, then you're good to go. And after first year, you have a summer break. You can start learning about web development or Android or machine learning. You can start exploring those fields. And side by side, you have to do DSLGO consistently. On you can, if you don't want to do competitive programming, I would say you can uh, do questions on lead code. So if you do lead code, then don't just solve the easy questions. I've seen many people just solve the easy questions and don't solve medium or hard questions. Number of questions doesn't matter. You have to solve good amount of questions, and when you're solving a question, spend some time on it. If you're not able to solve it in the first attempt, just try to give it 30 minutes or 20 minutes. After that, get some hint from other solution and then try to solve it again. Even if then you are not able to solve it, then look at the solution. And when you solve a question, don't just try to get it accepted and move on to the next question, I would say, because you have to see if your solution is the best solution for that question or not. Try to judge its time complexity and the space complexity. For example, if you solve a question in O(n) time complexity and O(n) extra space, and if that question can be solved in O(n) extra space, then you have to do it, because in interviews, interviewers ask you to optimize your solution in the best way. So sometimes a question which is very easy in O(n) extra space becomes very difficult when you have to use just O(n) extra space. So that I would say, after solving the question, for example, in lead code you have a discussion section. Go to discussions, look at other solution, and try to find out why you couldn't solve that question in that manner which others have solved, and try to gain some good knowledge from their solution. And after that, in second year, you can learn about these core CS subjects, and try to, and after learning about some development and these DSLGO and basic CS subjects, you can start applying for some internships. If you get a good internship, then it's good. You'll learn a lot there, and you can side by side start building your personal projects. And in the fourth year, you can start applying for the placements.
Okay, perfect, Same. I think that was a lot of KT from you today. So I think we are in a good position to wrap this session up. So if you have any last piece of advice for the viewers watching this video, so please set that as well, and we can wrap the session up.
Yeah. So I would say you have a lot of time in college. Just have fun. Don't get a life, and go traveling, and be consistent. Consistency is the key during this process. You have a lot of time. Even if you spend 2 or 3 hours a day regularly, you would be able to get a very good placement. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you for having me.
Fine, Sanyam. Thank you for just taking time out of your schedule and letting our viewers know about the placement process and your entire journey. So I thank you, and congratulations to you once again on landing into Walmart.
Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone for watching this video. Bye bye.